Second ball to go up when we are good to go. It has gone up now, and so we get set to hear some almost 5,500 horsepower combined to shake the ground here at Snetterton in Norfolk as we get set for our second Sigma 135 race. The red lights are up and they are out. And again, as we thought from yesterday, the outside of the circuit that's cleaner gets the better start, and it's Hapgood who gets the better run off the line. Jamie Winrow, watch for the guy from fourth on the grid, which is Jonathan Emery trying to move up the inside line. They're 3 abreast, almost 4 wide in towards Richie's corner, and they will just about hold on to it. There's a bit of lock up in the midfield. That was possibly 44 losing it, which is Oscar McCall, but he gathers it up neatly as they all pack their way through Richie's corner towards Wilson for the first time. All 44, fingers crossed, are through pretty much trouble-free. They're now 2x2 hurrah like Noah's Ark through the 180-degree hairpin. They're all getting through just about safely. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything crossed, and just about gets through cleanly. Also going through the left-hander now of Palmer's. Let's see who comes out on top as they head down towards Agostini for the first time. It's now side-by-side for the lead and for third place, and possibly for fifth as they head down to the hairpin, almost 3 abreast. That looks like that was Winrow from pole going down the outside, but it is into the lead of the race. Up the inside has gone 145 David Rook. So good start for the red and black Caterham. Through the hairpin they go into the midfield infield section, which is brought in about 2010, 2011. So this is make it one of the longest circuits in the country. And so far so good, touch wood. It looks as though all the 135s are through pretty much cleanly as they come towards Oggy for the first time. There's a lock up from Winrow, so I almost spoke too soon. He's got Elwood around him as for company too. But as they head their way out towards the Bentley Straight for the first time so far, he says tentatively, all good in the 135s heading onto the back straight for the first time.
Yeah, I did think it was bold when we only had about 6 or 7 of them through the first braking zone that you called them all getting through safety. But they did, to be fair, so a perfect call this morning from you, Scott. Well, they all continue on then down the Bentley Straight for the first time here in the Caterhams. And once more, as we always see, they fan out down to the braking zone. So we head into Brundle and Nelson's then just about sorting themselves out. But as you can see how strong that slipstream is down the back straight, because it was David Rook in the lead. And he's down to third once they're into the braking zone. And 2 other drivers have scampered on by. But yes, clearly the pole side of the grid still struggling here today on the Sunday. They were yesterday on Saturday. But Jamie Winrow struggling off the start there. It was lovely from James Hapgood and Jonathan Emery. Lovely starts from them as they side their way round the outside line. As we pick our way through then down through Coram and into Murray's then. End of lap number 1. And let's count them through as they come under the gantry and we head on to lap number 2. The beautiful purple car of Emery leads us down to T1 then, and we're side by side for second place again. Waitman's thinking about the inside line here. I think more to try and cover it off. Well, it hasn't worked. Rook goes through round the outside, and he's got a lovely run here, and Emery knows it. Covers the inside line as we head down into Wilson's for the second time, and it's chaos in the background as well.
Yeah, plenty of scraps in the midfield, as you'd expect from Caterham Racing, as now they go wheel to wheel again. It's now Emery and Rook going at it. I think Waitman's been shuffled back to third place because Rook is now back into that fight for the lead with Emery, and it is now Rook into the back in position. There in P10 is car number 10. That's James Hapgood in purple and yellow. As they head down back towards Agostini. The cars are that way. Move. That's it. Good to see the marshals in the greenery, but what do we see the cars? That a bit more exciting. On the roads, we see 2x2 again. Let's want some more. Looks like Rook and Emery going wheel to wheel. Little twitch there from looks like Elwood in the white Caterham in the mix. The rest of the pack goes streaming through the shot. And still, it is Rook who's doing a fine job in 6th position. Who started 6th and has done well to move up 5 spots into the lead. In terms of the biggest movers on the opening lap, if I look at the timing, the biggest movers was 5 places gained for Waitman, up from 7th to 2nd. And the biggest loser from that one, unfortunately, was the number 12, which was Simon Martin. Started in 19th place and ended the first lap down in 33rd. So the 14 places lost for him. As we go 3 wide, as we see Elwood Winrow trying to shoot the gap between the 2 leaders. Can't make that stick. And Emery in purple and orange turning his way through the right-hander. I approve of the fact there are more purple race cars in this field. I do think there should be more purple race cars in general. Got 2 of them at the front, so I'm quite happy. There goes James Elwood squeezing past the inside of 96 with Luke Waitman, who was as high as 2nd at one point. Got shuffled back down the order. And that's, of course, the catalyst for being in a Caterham race. Yes, you get a tow, but also you can be towed pretty quickly down the straight. And you can even be leading by X out the final corner onto the pit straight to start with X that. By the time you get towards Richie, you could be down to 6th.
Yeah, it's not unusual, is it, to lose 5, 6, 7 places in one lap in a Caterham race. But equally, as you say, luck can go the other way and you can gain those places. So it's just picking your way through and trying to play those tactics through to the end of the race. Well, again, we're using the slipstream up the front straight into the first couple of corners, hanging around the outside then and Holding on to the lead there is Rook. We do switch around though. Emery's dropping back at least one place, holding the inside line there to look to hold on to third, as Hapgood's getting involved as well. So Winrow back through into second, I believe. Or is it Rook down to second and Winrow through into the lead? Either way, they're all continuing to reshuffle here as we press on through this race. Slightly longer than the Fiestas we saw previously, 20 minutes rather than 15, so a little bit more time for drivers to sort themselves out. But you never really see someone breaking away at the sharp end. Of course, McInerney doing a lovely job in the Fiestas earlier on. Well, that's certainly not happening here in the Caterhams as we continue to switch around through lap number 3. And we've still got, that's got to be the top 10, maybe even more, still in this leading pack. And with them all shuffling around on pretty much every bit of straight, it's not going to change at any point soon in this race. We press on through the middle section then, as you say, opened back in 2011, the 300 layout, or as I said yesterday, brand new. Yeah, it's a little bit old now, but still a lovely section of circuit and really adds something to the whole layout here at Snetterton, because you get those tight and twisty middle sections, and then you still carry on back onto the usual 200 layout, and you fly down these long straightaways, which for the Caterhams are very beneficial for the racing. I'm sure it makes it very exciting for them out on circuit, makes it very exciting for us in the commentary box too, which we're thoroughly enjoying, as again battling down into the braking zone through lap number 3 we go, and again we've reshuffled at the sharp end of these top 6. They're getting very friendly, aren't they, here today in race number 2, and I'm sure they'll continue that on through the rest of the season. They're going to be besties by the end of 2026.
They've been besties for years, of course, Kim and Caterham. That's exactly how it works. It's besties for life in these Caterham, particularly with how well this club gets on. And it's a real community feel with Caterham graduates. We had a couple of good interviews yesterday, and Rob had a couple of drivers, and even people past the community saying that this is a group where it really does feel like a proper family. It's sometimes a cliche thing to say, but it's one of those grids that really does feel like it in many cases, with so many people that gets involved, because you've got some 70 drivers taking part across the two grids. It's always impressive to see. The years are sweeping through us now to complete 3 laps of the race, and Luke Waitman has set a 2-minute 11.479. Is that another new lap record, I wonder? Let's look at what we had yesterday. He did a 2:11.4 yesterday, I think, but no, it's quicker. So 2:11.479 for Luke Waitman. That is him beating his own new lap record by half a tenth. So congratulations to Luke, setting a new fast lap of the race and a new lap record in the process. 2:11.479 on lap 3 of this race for Luke Waitman in car number 96. This is now another battle further back. This is 174. That's way down the order. It's out of the top 20 of that. This is for 35th and 36th. That's been, I think, Poulter and Bateman battling amongst each other for somewhere towards the bottom of the field. But as we said, someone to race with, no matter where you are on the field. Speaking of which, around the outside goes Jamie Winrow with a really classy move down the outside at Agassi. That's not always an easy thing to do, to go around the outside, but he has managed to make it stick. So they head down towards Hamilton once again, still with Hapgood in the lead, followed by Winrow in second place. Then it's Rook in third place. Emery's been shuffled down to, where's he gone? 6th, 7th, 8th. He's gone right down. He's 6th or 7th now, behind Luke Waitman, as he was 4th going on to that lap. He's there down to 6th. He's also lost out, I think, possibly to Steve Merritt as well as they come down. One driver that has dropped back is... Oh, Elwood is there. I wondered where Elwood had gone, but he's disappeared and he's down to 5th place. So plenty of action going on up at the front. Here's more of our midfielders. 42 in grey and yellow is the Caterham of inside the top 20. 42 is Neil Warnock. And he started in 14th place. He's a couple places down from where a couple places up from where he started, because he was 14th on the grid into 12th. And then goes Emery round the outside, trying to make a move on Waitman, who's just taken the new lap record and improved it by half a tenth. Looks to the outside of the bomb hole, can't make that one stick, and there's more straps going on. This is the difficulty I think we find with Caterham graduates, is that yes, it's fantastic racing, but also it's confusing for us and for the director and the cameraman, because where do you look for racing? Because everywhere you do go, there's a battle to look for, and it's always quite entertaining because you've got 2, 3, 4 plus cars going forwards. And one thing we talked about yesterday with Caterham racing, John, is that you do find a pack of 2 or 3 cars. If they start to scrap, the next group comes along, which makes it a 7-car group. Then we're next to make it 11. Then we're next to make it 15. Then you get half the field battling for the lead places, and it becomes such a train of cars, it's almost impossible to know where to look. The second place change. You see Hapgood now loses the lead and also second, because both goes Winrow and Rook through on him. It's now Elwood to 4th. They're running over the curb wide, but he holds on to it, and Waitman sees that opportunity, looks to the outside line. I didn't think I'd say it, but almost running out of words and places to look in terms of what's happening, as again, Elwood and Waitman go to combat for 4th position. Literally everywhere you look in this field, doesn't matter where it might be, somebody's racing somebody, and it's actually quite a healthy battle.
Indeed. Yeah, when they start squabbling at the front, it's like a lovely list of ingredients, isn't it? Add 2 more caterums, and then add 2 more caterums, and now add 2 more caterums. And suddenly we've got a pack of 20 all squabbling for the lead. We continue on down into Agassini once again, side by side for the lead, as Rook looks to send it up the inside, but the 97 hanging it round the outside, and Winrow will keep the lead. But again, just showing, we saw him move around the outside there on the last lap. Doesn't work up the inside this time, but the respect between these drivers is amazing. They're leading on each other, barely giving enough room, but just giving enough room, and that's exactly what we want to see. So much respect amongst the field here in the K-Terms, and as you say, it is one big family. They're loving the racing, but they all want each other to be involved. There's no issue having a silly accident. They all want everyone involved, and the more the merrier in the battle at the front, and that definitely proved by the racing we're seeing. Well, we're only just ticking over half race distance here, and we're still going 3 wide down the back straight.
That's just typical Caterham. Why are you surprised? They do this all the time, constantly every single time, and it's now Winrow to the lead now, but that will change in about 5 seconds. Hapgood going side by side with Waitman, who's now pushed himself to the front, because Winrow, Elwood's been shuffled right back to about 10th. Look, he's battling with Emery, who was up in that front group. They're also having a scrap with 2 cars in that mix, which I think, I can't quite tell who they were, but maybe Snape and Soden, one of the 2 in that mix, or somewhere further back, but we'll keep tabs on them as they come across the line in whatever order they manage to shuffle themselves into by the time they get to the pit straight. This is further back. Next group being led by 104, which is car 21st, which is Sykes, and Sykes started in, where did he start? 21st position, and currently racing in 21st, so he hasn't really moved anywhere else in that point. Across the line come the leaders, and Winrow has the lead from Rook, then Hapgood, then Waitman, then Bryant up to 5th position, Merritt in 6th, Elwood down to 7th, and Emery and Co. is up the inside. Goes a couple more drivers. That was Bryant being passed by Merritt in the 111. Almost, because Bryant powered his way back around the outside. Elwood also going wheel to wheel with Rook, and they're going to go again side by side for the lead and for 3rd. It's again 2 by 2 like Noah's Ark. In towards the hairpin they go, and Rook's slotted back to 2nd. Hapgood still 3rd, and Waitman down to 4th. So the top 4 together trying to pull away. And what you might find here, John, is even though they're in this lead group, these 4 might decide to, inverted commas, work together, although that's loosely work together. Of course, it's never going to happen properly. Particularly Bright get involved, and that was Jono who was the back, who was getting sideways there. Who that was? I think it might have been Merritt. No, not Merritt. So someone whose first name is John. I think John, as we go through, we'll come back to that in a second, because rightfully so, you pointed back to the screen, and it is Hapgood to the lead now. He's got back past Elwood and also Rook, and the camera swung back around because something may have happened in the background. And yes, there goes 198. He's been tagged. That is the number 9. And also there's Emery. So Emery and Morris came together, or at least were tangled in separate incidents, or one went off in sympathy of the other. So 198 or 196 was Orlando Morris by the look of it. No, Henry Morris that went off. And Jonathan Emery sort of went off in sympathy.
Indeed. Yeah, what happened there down at Agostini with the leaders there was Rook up the inside of Winrow. Both went a little bit too late on the brakes, and that was Rook shuffling Winrow wide. And then up and under from Hapgood. Saw him take the lead, but of course, as we see down the Bentley straight as usual, we continue on the slipstream. 3 wide, 3 totally different lines into the corner, which is going to work. It's Winrow all the way around the outside and back into the lead. Then Hapgood into 2nd place. And I think Rook losing 3rd as well. Yes, he has. So the one of the other drivers slipping on by then. It's the 96 of Waitman it is, back up into 3rd place. Well, momentarily trying to hang it around the outside of Coram. And I think Luke has just about been able to do that. Yes, he has. So Waitman back through into the top 3 then. It was only a couple of laps ago we were speaking about how that momentum has shuffled it back into the pack. Well, it's only taken a couple of laps. He's back up into the top 3 and well and truly involved in the leading scrap once more.
We said Luke Waitman set a new lap record. It's been beaten now by, of all people, the number 5th position, which is 28 of Nick Bryant. He's now lowered it to a 2 minutes 11.1, so that's a new lap record once again. He's lowered it by another, that's 4 tenths. That would have been number 2, 2:11.119. So good effort from Nick to get himself the lap record lower even further. Down towards the Wilson hairpin they come. It's still now Winrow and Hapgood have been a bit more civilised in the first couple of the corners, still battling hard for this 4-pack going through Wilson for 3rd, between Waitman, Rook, Bryant, the new lap record holder, and Merritt. And Elwood in that last lap lost 4 places. He went down from 3rd to 7th. The biggest mover on that place was up 6 from Thomas Gunter, who actually might be where they started, because he started 16th and is up to 10th. So the biggest mover so far is that one. Also up there too from to 16th from 27th on the grid, Adam Waitman, who started back on the 14th row of the grid and now moving up quite highly. Winrow from Hapgood turn their way through Hamilton's now with 5.5 minutes to go. Then the 5-car train through for third place, headed by David Rook. And into the right hand they go. And for once in a corner, it's Oggy's there, John. Occasions not making a move trying to pass each other. That's a rarity in catering race. They usually try and pass each other every corner, every lap, but they're probably saving their gunpowder, shall we say, for this run down the back straight, because Bryant certainly has got the toe. He's now latched onto the back end of Rook's car, looks to the outside line. He might get a loose toe from the 2 cars in front in the lead, but once again, in typical catering fashion, going side by side, and there's no guaranteeing who's going to be in front by the time they get to the complex.
No, there certainly isn't. We'll continue on side by side into the braking zone, but once again, Winrow slipping back then, and it is Hapgood back into the lead of the race. A little bit slidey over that exit curb in the background for Bryant, but he's made the place into the braking zone. He's through on Rook then as well, so up into the top 3 he goes once more. Waitman down into 5th place, but as we say, battles galore up and down the order. Almost the door closed in the face there of one of the drivers, but again, lovely respect given through into the braking zone of Brundle and Nelson, and these 4 or 5 continue to scamper on through and continue to battle down through the bomb hole and into Coram once again. Just over 4 minutes left to go in this race then, and we are still only a couple of seconds now separating, what is it, the top 7, about 1.5, 2 seconds separating the top 7, which is ridiculous. Side by side again into the first corner, but this time it's the turn of Rook all the way around the outside and back into the top 3.
We're pushing hard. He's also on roughly that record pace as well. He did a 2:11.355 on the last lap, so he's motoring well in 6th position. Through the hairpin they go. Waitman now to his inside, the 111 of Steve Merritt in black and orange. Watch for him as he tries to make his way back into the top 5. Through the left-hander again at Palmer. Nose the tail for the moment. You just know with the huge punch off the corner that you get from the toe in these politely unaerodynamic cars. You get down towards the hairpin and the toe is so massive, and of course when you get into a pack of these cars, if you've got 4 or 5 in a row, if you're the car that's 6th in that queue and the 5 cars in front are all on the toe, the amount of slipstream you get and almost the turbo boost you get from the toe is immense in that sense. So think about being at the back of the queue and getting a huge slingshot past everybody. Here goes the next battle. This is further back in the order. This is I think 8 and 45 having the battle. This is this is for, might be for 39 to 40th place. That's Fry and Michael Koo. It was Michael Koo who started both of races from the back of the grid with a 10-second penalty. There might be an idea possibly why he got that, maybe looking at the original qualifying results on TSL, but he did start both races from the back of the grid with a 10-second penalty, but Michael did manage to make his way through quite well in the first race as to why that happened, and it was a post-practice scrutineering was the reason why he was excluded from the session, and he had to start for the back of the grid. Hapgood with a twitch as he tried to turn in through Brundle, clips the curb at Nelson. Now with Rook trying to squeeze to his inside, looking one way then the other, but no way through on the run towards the bomb hole. The top 6 going through pretty much all together. Oh, and one goes around. That is the 1-2-2. It's gone around. 1-2-3. It's gone around. 1-2-3 is 1-2-2. I think is Louise Deason who made the spin. Either that or Alan Bateman, one of the two. It might be Deason because Deason is quite far up the order inside the top 20. Louise across the line was 11th, so she was in that leading group there, so I think it was Louise. So 1-2-2 goes for a spin, but she rotates and carries on. We are now on to, I think, maybe penultimate lap of the race, because we came across the line with about 2 minutes 12 to go, so they might just get to the flag before they get there. And also, yet again, another new lap record, because the 111 set the slightly fast lap of the race. Steve Merritt at 2:11.121, so he snatched the lap record back from who had it before, which was Bryant, who's currently into 4th position, or he was in fact. I don't know where he is right now, because he's lost 1, 2, 3, 4 positions, then getting them all back in the same corner. That's the beauty of catering racing. You can start one corner in one position, down the straight be down 3 more spots and get it back again by the time you get to the next one. It's just absolutely immense and exciting all the way through. That is catering racing, in particular with this case catering graduates, all the way from start to finish. Yeah,
continued reshuffling in the leading pack, and we've seen that now looking back as well. From 8th place backwards, there's another squabble just like this. Massive move up the inside there into Agostini. What a send from Merritt there. Almost makes up 2, but does make up 1. For now anyway, they're going to go 3 wide here into Hamilton's. It's not the widest of corners. Let's see if they can make it through without making contact. They can. Lovely racing once again from the Caterhams here in the Sigma 135s. But yes, as you say, this is going to be close, isn't it? It was about the lap times that they're doing. That was what was left on the clock when we came across the line. So let's wait and see. Drivers heading through the right then, onto the back straight once more.
Well, the timer says 17 minutes 45 across the line when the leader came across. That would suggest there's 5 seconds to go at this rate, 5 or 6 by the time they come across the line. So they might just get away with it, but we'll wait and see how that plays out. Look at the toes. They're weaving around. Hapgood tries to break the toe, and and everyone tries to go with him to catch it with him. As now out in front, Winrow's got a very un-Caterham-like lead of about, a couple of seconds, which is like the Grand Canyon in Caterham terms. He's absolutely sailed away because everyone else is scrapping amongst each other. Hapgood gets away because everyone was battling over third. It's now new lap record holder Merritt into P3, Bryant's fourth, Waitman fifth, and around the outside he goes of Rook at the bomb hole, which is not an easy thing to do whatsoever. Elwood now trying to go around the outside to pick up the move. Now the lead's coming across towards with about roughly 15 seconds to go. They might just get one more lap. But yeah, last lap ball is being held, so they're going to get one more time around. Brilliant, excellent, good to see. One more lap is never a bad thing, particularly in Caterham racing. But it also means that Winrow doesn't see the checkered flag, and he will have to come through as the timer goes 3, 2. Oh, he just got across with 2 seconds to go. It was just there, but they timed it just right. I think they might have taken it purely from the timer on the timing screen, which is 2:15. So we'll go with that. One more time around the 300 circuit. Hapgood in second, Merritt into third. Battle of the fourth on between Bryant and Waitman in towards the right-hander of Richie's corner. Bryant runs out white. Waitman gets the run off the corner. Also watch out for Rook and Elwood behind. Rook in red, Elwood in white. But now down towards the Wilson hairpin. 1, 2, 3. Everyone trying to be fourth, and Waitman gets the nose in front, number 96. Edges Bryant out wide. This gives Rook the opportunity to get the toe with the slipstream from behind Waitman to put himself alongside Bryant if he can. But Bryant retaliates by his best form of defence is attack up the inside of Waitman. He goes past him. Elwood passes Rook. He's getting a run on Waitman. Time has gone to 0, and I'm not quite sure what's about to happen next because it's all going off in one space. That was about 7 position changes in about 5 seconds.
Yeah, the best form of defence is attack, I think, should be the tagline of Caterham racing.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is. Bit slidey off of Agostini there. That is Bryant there, just trying to get the power down on corner exit, but he does hold 4th place. It's worked out well. Waitman still chasing them down behind, with Rook and Elwood going forward as well then. But yeah, for the first time this weekend, there's fresh air between our top 3. Very weird to see in Caterham's, but Winrow, Hapgood and Merritt doing really well there as all the drivers around them all continue to squabble. They were able to just make that little breakaway, gap them ever so slightly and break that toe, which is what you got to do in Caterham's here to try and pull away. Easier said than done, but they managed to do it at the sharp end. These 3 continuing to squabble here as they head through their final lap of the race. Slightly further down the order in that battle, down in the mid-teen places, but we look back to the leaders. Big lock up here as they go side by side off onto the grass. They'll go. They'll rejoin here right in front of the rest of the traffic. They've just about got it stopped. Wow, that was mightily close. Nearly a huge accident there on the last lap, but fair play to the number 25 for holding onto that one and not sliding into the rest of the traffic.
Yeah, that was James Elwood with a bit of a fright as he went through the final couple of corners, but now Jamie Winrow's heading out through Coram and Murray for the final time to come across the line and pick up a victory, because after he's had to pick his way through, he's going to take possibly one of his easiest victories in Caterham Graduates he's probably ever had. Up to the checkered flag for the second time this weekend in Sigma 135. Jamie Winrow will pick up race 2 victory in the JMRG Caterham Graduates Sigma 135 class. It is victory to him by an absolute chasm of a margin of 2.2 seconds, which is very un-Caterham-like. It is in Hapgood in second place, and Steve Merritt with a brand new lap record, 2:11.1121. He has smashed that even further from yesterday when it was a 2:11.5 for Luke Waitman yesterday. Yeah, 2:11.5 was the lap record yesterday. It's been lowered now a couple of times, down to 4/10 lower, but it was yesterday. So I'm sure that will be something for Rob Lewis to discuss with Steve at the end when they come into Parc Ferme. It is Bryant who finishes 4th, so Nick Bryant picks up P4. It's Luke Waitman, who at one point had the lap record twice at one point, is 5th. Rookie 6th, and Elwood, who had the excursion over the grass at the Brundle-Nelson complex on the final lap. He picks up 7th place, and it's Hansen, Gunter and Newman across the line to finish off the top 10. And the rest of the pack in their own little battles and individual squabbles are going to come across and settle those by the checkered flag. And we've still got one more Caterham race to go in the Sigma 150s, and that was epic enough in itself, and that was just as good. But the Sigma 135s certainly kicking off their season for 2026 here at Snetterton, and their first race officially as a BRSEC championship. I think it's safe to say, as long as Sigma 150 also lives up to it, I think it's safe to say Caterham Graduates, I think as the Beatles would say, I think they're past the audition.
Yeah, welcome back,
Pretty good.
Caterhams. Welcome back to BRSEC. You can stick around for a bit longer. You're
I think so.
Absolutely class. We've got, the 150s. We've got another race with them in the morning. And then we've got the 135 and the 150s returning again this afternoon.
Oh,
so
2 more.
Plenty more
brilliant.
Caterham races to come this afternoon.
I should have seen that, looking at the timetable. That's a faux pas on my part.
We've got loads of Caterhams to come. Don't you worry,
Brilliant.
Scott. But just to highlight as well, that leading gap there in the Caterhams, so how odd that is for Caterhams. I've just done the maths quickly. Compared to the leading gap across the line yesterday, that leading gap was 39 times greater. that just shows you quite how big of a chasm that gap at the front was for Jamie Winrow.
See, that's the insights we give you in club racing, that how big a gap was in terms of percentage of how much multiplied it big it is. So that's something that you don't get probably anywhere else. Anyway, not in F1 at least anyway. James Winrow takes the victory. I'll stop talking. Oh, I shouldn't, it's my job. So Jamie Winrow takes victory in race number 2 of Catering Graduates. He wins by a very un-Catering-like 2.2 seconds from James Hapgood and Steve Merritt, new lap record holder. One to talk about with Rob in a moment in Parc Ferme in 3rd place. Then it's Nick Bryant 4th, Luke Waitman 5th position. It's then David Rook in 5th position from Elwood in 7th place. Then Hanson, Gunter and New in the top 10. Then Warnock, Snape, McCall, Waitman, Soden, James, Morris, Emery, Deason and Sykes in the top 20. Then Munns, Morris, Bergbaum. And then going down the rest of the order from 23rd downwards, it's then Nichols, Turner, Martin, Crossman, Hapgood, Groom, Gunter, Pollen, Griffith, Bell, Trinder, Poulter, Bateman, Koo, Hussein. And then we also have in there too Fry, Wood and Starnes. And one thing to also give to Rob as well, the new lap record set by Steve Merritt was 4/10 under the new lap record set yesterday by Luke Waitman, so one to watch out for there. But our top 3 from our second of 3 Signal 135 races is down in the Parc Ferme area. Let's have a chat to our winner James Winrow, and our top 3 is our reporter Rob Lewis.
And a very happy Jamie Winrow. That's probably the biggest gap we've seen in caterers, probably ever.
Yeah, I managed to get away. The first about half of it was really close racing. I got a terrible start and then kind of got squeezed, so I had to back out of the throttle. Must have been down in about 6th. Eventually managed to get back up to the front, and I just couldn't shake James. He was clinging onto me, and I'd get half a gap and then we'd close back up again. But I think he went deep into one corner. They gave me probably half a second, and I was like kind of quali mode, put in 3 really good laps, break the toe, and then from there it was a little bit easier. But yeah, really, really close racing. But yeah, happy with my lap times as well in clear air because it felt really good.
That was the key bit, though, breaking the toe, especially around here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, even if you qualify further down, you know, in the top 10, if you're in that leading pack on the last lap, then you've got a chance of winning it. So, yeah, breaking the toe is key. Once you've broken the toe, as long as you put in faster lap times, then you're all right.
No problem at all. Fantastic effort there. A great win. I'll let you speak to John Ward now, and we'll swap over with James Hapgood after a fantastic 2nd place. Good catering racing.
Yeah, that was exhausting, really. Oh my word, that was frenetic from like the start right up to the end.
It's a hard workout in these cars, and as soon as the toe got broken away, you just couldn't quite get into him in the end.
We kind of broke the toe, the two of us, and I thought, okay, there's our chance to get away, and then we're pointing at each other, you know, work together, and then I go and mess up a corner, and everyone else starts descending upon me. So at one point, I was looking at like finishing 6th with a big pack that was coming up to me. But then luckily they managed to squabble a bit, and then I managed to hang on to 2nd.
Well, congratulations on a superb 2nd place there, James Hapgood. We look forward to see what he does in their final race of the day. There is a Steve Merritt here somewhere. We might have to go over to him because he's too busy gas bagging. So I'll just grab this man here for a chat. Steve Merritt, fantastic 3rd place.
Yeah, really happy with that. Didn't get a great start, dropped back several more positions when I managed to put it completely into the wrong... I actually ended up changing into the wrong gear on turn 1 and losing more spaces. Yeah, I'm really happy with their place, and the pace these guys were sitting at the front was just super. So I had some serious catching up to do.
You're in quite the battle pack, though. Lots of cars around you, so to even get on the podium is quite an achievement.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like the level has gone a step higher this year. You know, I mean, we're all the same guys from last year, with a few extra really quick guys in as well, and it's really pushed everybody up. So we're having to work really hard for it. So I'm really pleased with 3rd place. That's awesome, and especially given the competition that's around me. So.
Some fantastic racing from the 135s. Congratulations